Cameroon, soldiers have shot dead at least 8 people and wounded others in a restless English-speaking region. 5 of the dead are reportedly inmates who were shot when a fire broke out at a local prison in Kumbo. Clashes with police erupted in Buea during protests by activists calling for the independence of the country's Anglophone region. Police have banned public meetings and arrested anyone seen walking the streets. Military helicopters have been patrolling the airspace of 2 main cities, Buea and Bamenda. The protests, which began late last year, have become a formidable platform for opposition to President Paul Biya's 35-year rule in the majority Francophone nation. Now, to discuss more on this, we're joined by reporter Deji Batmas live from Lagos in Nigeria. Deji, the unrest in Cameroon has been simmering for a while. Just how worried is the West African region about the developments in Cameroon?
Well, Penina, it's not just the West African region that is worried. Even the Central African region, where Cameroon actually belongs, is worried as well. You look at the whole of the Central African region, virtually every part of the Central African region is affected by one conflict or the other. From Central African Republic to the Democratic Republic of Congo, you have problems left, right, and center. And then you look at West Africa, for instance, Cameroon bordering Nigeria in the west. Of course, there's no question at all that West African leaders too will be worried, because you don't want any kind of conflict situation in Cameroon. Cameroon is already reeling from the effects of the Boko Haram insurgency. We've seen, thousands of refugees flowing from Nigeria to Cameroon. You don't want to see a situation where Cameroon now becomes engulfed in conflict. It will become a huge problem. We've also seen in Central Africa, for instance, the crisis in Central African Republic, quite a number of refugees flowing the other way. Now, if you had a terrible crisis in Cameroon, it surely would not be not be anything good at all. So the leaders of both regions, I'm talking about the Central African region and of course the West African region now, are monitoring the situation in Cameroon closely, and there's no question at all that they would want some kind of peaceful resolution to this crisis. It's not something anybody wants to escalate, because it could have some very damaging consequences for both regions. Penina?
And just speaking of a peaceful resolution, what kind of regional intervention are we likely to see if matters escalate?
Well, I think what we're going to see if matters escalate, but Cameroon has made it clear, the government there has made it clear that it can handle this. It's actually not the first time this would be happening. We've seen this in the past, but well, it's like this is more serious than the ones we've seen in the past. But no question at all, the Cameroonian government would not want any kind of intervention. It would, of course, say, it has said so, that this is something it can handle locally, domestically. But of course, if things were to go out of hand, there's, along the line, we might see some kind of intervention, albeit diplomatically, from the economic community of Central African states. Now, we might see some intervention from ECOWAS. I mean, for instance, Nigeria borders Cameroon. But for now, what we expect to see going forward is that the Cameroonian authorities would be able to handle this. And if things go out of hand, ECOWAS will step in and, of course, provide some kind of diplomatic, probably find a diplomatic solution to it. I don't think we'll get to that stage where some kind of military intervention will be required. Penina?